Hello, humans, and welcome to another episode of Gen X Gamer. EA shuts down The Simpsons and a bunch of other games. That's right, we are here on a Sunday before I get my football on, and I'm here to tell you about what's going on in the game industry that I don't like. And I don't like video games being taken away from people. Now, if you're familiar with this particular situation with EA, you'll know that they're closing a bunch of studios down, and it goes back to the old concept of you will own nothing and be happy. Guys, I hope you had a great Christmas with your family and you're eating leftovers right now. Look at this drip. This is going to be the drip for today. Scorpion and Sub-Zero. I showed you these shirts that I got for Christmas. That's what I'm going to be wearing today. Throughout the videos I'm going to make today, I may make a video playthrough that I'll make available for members only. First, I'll play on my PlayStation, talk about a different subject, and then you guys will see that tomorrow morning. And then I'll make another video like this one. Regardless, guys, let's get into this. Look, when it comes to not owning your games, me as a physical media aficionado is not something that I'm cool with, right? But it's something that video game companies love. They put out these games that people spend money for. And when they're no longer as popular as they used to be, they just shut them down. They shut the service down and pretty much make the games unplayable anymore. Most of their content is locked behind servers, and there's nothing you can do. When it comes to Simpsons Tapped Out, it's something that people would enjoy, and give you a bunch of the lore of the Simpsons, and you would go and tap around. You could look for the video game yourself. It's just a time waster, right? But something that people would enjoy on their tablets and cell phones and stuff like that. And it shouldn't be a game. It could be a game that you could just have on your tablet, and laws need to change. Laws need to change for when these companies, make these type of video games, at least give people a version available that they can play on their own that has all the content, and if you're going to shut it down, then make that available for all the members or all the people that bought your product, and then shut it down, or make the servers available for people if they want to continue running them, whatever it is, but give people the chance to keep on owning what they purchased. This whole thing of purchasing a license just to play as long as they allow you to, that is just not a business model that's going to work long term, and we need to change the laws, because that could be, as we learned with several failed projects now, that could be a week, 2 weeks, and that's it. Sony's one of the few, PlayStation, one of the few companies that'll just we'll give you your money back. If you purchase this dud that we made for $400 million. But usually it doesn't happen that way. Usually studios just close down. And let's look at the breadth of the things that we're talking about here. Now, a lot of these games are not popular with a lot of people, but I'm sure the people that bought these games and paid more good money for these games don't feel the same way. Let's see here. I'll go back. All right, here we go. And this is via Icon Era, guys. If you guys want to go look it up. And here's some of the titles that you'll have. I'll try to put a link down below so you guys can access it. Rory McIlroy PGA Tour, January 16th. Look at everything that's happening in January. The Simpsons Tapped Out, which is what we talked about, which is the most notorious one, right? The one that people are outraged the most about, and with good reason. The Simpsons is a brand that people are very fond of over the years. January 24th, last day, completely shut down. Blood and gory, and I believe there's a video already of some people trying to access it, and it already says that it's shut down. Contract Killer Sniper, January 29th. Deer Hunter, January 29th. Man, Dino Hunter. If you're a hunter, man, it doesn't look good for you. All right, Dino Hunter, Deadly Shores, Eternity Warriors, Frontline Commando 2, Frontline Commando D-Day. Oh, Frontline Commando fans, you must be sad. UFC 3, EA Sports UFC Mobile, even the UFC's getting it. NCAA 14, March 13th, you're done. Madden NFL 21, June 30th, it's no more. NHL 21. Those you should be able to upgrade, man, because those are never-ending games when it comes to sports, right? Need for Speed Rivals, October 7th. I would say, that people have fun with, and it's something you should be able to play at least in a one player experience. It's not too far. FIFA 23 is gone, NFL 22 is gone. Need for Speed Rivals, like I said again, Dirt Showdown, November 8th. You get a little more time. Dirt 3, November 8th. But that's everything. Look, Grid Autosport, Grid 2, EA Sports FC Empires, November 30th. Grid 2019, December 19th. So, there you go. Just with a swipe of a pen, somebody decided these games are not profitable anymore, and you're done. You're basically done. And that really sucks. That really sucks for the people that invested money, for people that are players of these games. And we know the mobile market is much different. A lot of these games are mobile and then play on tablet. It's completely different, but it doesn't mean that they should be out their money. You know what I'm saying? I mean, you paid good money for a property. You paid good money for a license. In my case, I get to keep all these licenses, that I get to play at home as long as I want to, as long as the disc lasts, right? As long as I'm playing it on my home console, I'll have a license for that. But now with this, and I think, at some point, when these games get larger or when the ruckus becomes so big, I think that consumers will start contacting their congressman. If that's what you want to do in your area, at least here in the U.S., those are the things that you start talking about, whether you want to regulate, microtransactions, ownership, all that stuff could be legislated to protect the consumer from things like this. Because just if there was a different bureaucrat at this, not bureaucrat, but if there's a different lackey at the company working, they could have decided not to. We're not going to shut these down, and you would still have them up. But somebody decided, we're not making enough money to keep these servers up, so there you go. What are the possible solutions? Well, let the customers, let the people that want to play build their own servers, right? Make it open source so people can do whatever they want to it. Have different solutions available, for the consumers. I know when it comes to technical issues and stuff like that, there's a lot of problems, a great example I like to put is Atlas with the Shin Megami Tensei series, where a lot of people were making their own games because the company wasn't moving fast enough for a Shin Megami Tensei series, and they shut them down. A completely fan-made project from the PS2 era. It was Imagine the project, I believe, was, and it might still be around. I haven't logged in for a long time, so I'm not sure. But I know that we're under duress from the company. But that's something that customers wanted to continue the lore of the company. You left it alone. You didn't want to do anything with it, right? And they still prevent people from doing things. And that's the unfortunate part. Look, if you don't want to support these games anymore, that's fine. Don't support them. You're not making money. We get it. But give people what they paid for and allow them to continue these properties moving forward. Now, it would be harder for The Simpsons because, of course, it's a licensed property. But you should at least give them a base game that they can play at home. And with that type of game, we're just tapping and just collecting stuff and riding around the city. It shouldn't be a problem. It should not be a problem. That's something you can put on console. That's something you can put on a cell phone. And it just, in my opinion, is a complete ripoff of the customer, where they're doing these experiments with these games. They pay for a license, and when they can no longer have them, when it's no longer profitable for them, they let them go. They shut you down, and they take away your property. And that's the part where I just have to say no, man. And I encourage you, if you're involved in civic duties, if you're involved with your communities, if you're involved with your congressmen, start bringing these things up, because it's the only way that you guys will be able to make a change. All right, humans, thank you for joining me. This is the first video today. There'll be a couple more. Stay tuned. Make sure you like and subscribe if you like this kind of content. And if you're really cool, subscribe to the channel for 99 cents. I'll catch you on the next one. Take care.